Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. There's Edward. Here's David floating because he does that. So now is the time when we lend an ear to our fellow supporters. All right, it's the fan thoughts. Let's do it. So I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of this poor fellow's last name. John Digney. Is that right? I don't know.
Digney.
John Digney says, or asks, do what?
John D. Call him JD.
JD asks, are we
welcome, JD.
JD asks, are we in a relegation battle now? Can anyone save us? 2 questions.
We can be saved, but we're very, very close to losing a grip on this season and drifting into a relegation battle. We've got a big, say, 4 weeks ahead, I think.
See, I said in my vlog, if we perform like we performed in the first half, we are going to be relegated. No doubt about it. If we perform like we did in the second half, then possibly I could see us getting better.
Okay.
But these next couple of games are going to be what happens. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're not yet in a relegation battle. I'm just gonna answer that. I think it's a really long season. I don't think we're quite there yet. Can anyone save us? Yes, someone can. There's a cheap answer that directly answers the question. I just can't give you any specific names. But I think someone can save us. I'm not totally, writing this one off yet. I just think it's possible to get some results this season. It's ridiculous to think, maybe we can work our way up to mid-table.
Yeah,
that's just awful. All right, next. Ben Jameson 4, all right, asks, how do you restart a club? That's such a complicated, difficult question to answer. We can literally do fan thoughts solely on that question,
Yeah. It's actually a very good question, but
it's really good.
Maybe not one to try to quick fire through your questions. I think we need to get someone in who's got some authority that can go in and get the players playing and almost fearing for the positions a little bit, so that they know if they don't perform to the absolute best, then they're out. And that's a start, and then we need to regroup in January.
Hasn't Unsworth technically done that? Because he's not really started any of the summer signings, apart from Pickford.
Well, the answer for that would be no, because we've got beat twice.
Yeah, true. But he's shown that it doesn't matter about your price tag. If you don't live up to it, you're going to get dropped.
Yeah, it's a fair point, definitely. Sigurdsson hasn't played, has he? But
exactly. Klaassen hasn't played at all. Sandro hasn't.
So, I'm going to say restart a club. I think it's not just a new manager. It's also we've had some really embarrassing stuff happen in the transfer window. I feel like every transfer window there's some ridiculous circus that happens, and it makes us look bad every time. And I think this goes to somewhere in the administration. There's some people pulling the strings that are dropping the ball, and I don't necessarily think it's always the manager. There's a lack of, I don't know if it's business acumen. I don't know if it's if it's being naive when people tell you, yes, I'm going to sign for you. I'm a tall, gorgeous French man. I'll be there soon, and then it doesn't happen. What do? We're laying on the floor, writhing around with nothing. So it's awful. So, but that's the thing. So it's just there's a bigger, deeper seated problem. I think what we have to do is we have to find a manager that can just put the Band-Aids on for a little while, and I hope it's one we can hold on to for longer than a year. Not just an Allardyce that gets us clean sheets.
Oh, that is just a nightmare. Just even that name getting linked with the role. Oh my!
I know.
Don't like that.
Edward, get a blanket, brother. Okay, this is not a question. At Ado_Dublin says, start believing in yourselves.
And your dreams will all come true.
I think it's for all of us because we all need a little injection of self-confidence in these dark, dark times. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think even with the performance on that we had second half against Chelsea, there's still a certain belief that we're not going to do it. You know, I feel like, you know, certain squads where they have that confidence, you're like, you know what, we're down by 2, don't care. Don't care. We're going to turn this around. But it's just kind of like with us, it was just like, you know what, we'll work hard, maybe.
Maybe we're just on one of these losing streaks, as you say. I mean, that's what my driving instructor thinks. He thinks we're on a bit of a losing streak instead of a winning one. It's just not running for us, but we'll get out of it.
I think the main, you know, if we are going to dig a little bit deeper, is Everton just aren't having got a big club mentality. We've got a very small club mentality. You know, that's why we haven't won nothing for ages. The board haven't brought anything to the club. You know, we've had numerous managers who haven't been able to. And it is. The biggest thing in football for me is your mentality. And you're right, as you were saying there. You know, 2-0 down. At no point did anybody believe we were coming back into that game. I think I put a tweet out yesterday. 2-0 down half time in the league. We haven't come back to win for 40 years.
That's really. I think that's strange coming from you, David. Are you just not really much of a stats guy? Are you branching out? Is that what this is?
I live for stats, okay? I don't care. I eat stats for breakfast.
I saw you post something about how none of the teams in any of the England's home teams were winning at halftime or something, and I literally just wanted to reply in huge caps, stats.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that stat actually got me rock hard. So for those 25 minutes, I was like, fuck, like no home team is winning here. Oh my god. And then it slowly disappeared. But that would have been a really interesting day if that would have stayed as the trend was going. Yeah. But anyway.
All right. We should actually move past rock hard mentionings. So is it the manager's fault or the players? Asks George Meehan. I mean, I'm gonna say previous managers because we haven't had enough time to actually. I mean, he hasn't. Unsworth hasn't had much training time with these guys and still working that out. So I'm not gonna blame either one of them yet. Yet.
Well, I think we can.
Tricky.
Yeah, can we put some responsibility on the players now though? Because
none of them ever.
I don't know.
No, you're right. There was some effort issues, especially on Leicester's first goal. I will totally agree with that. That's true.
Oh, don't bring it back.
I know, bud. I'm sorry to interrupt, David. You can keep going. I felt like a jerk. I was like joking, and I'm like, oh yeah, interrupted.
No, you've actually done me a favour there, mate. So if we want to push past that one, I will be okay with that.
All right, I think this is actually a really tough question. It comes from @GigHawatt. Tom Davies, I don't think he's good enough to play in a 2. Do you agree? And would you say he's been poor this season? Okay.
Go on, Gerry. You lead this.
You know I'm Tom Davies super fan, number 26 over here.
So defend him.
Well, to be honest with you, though, after watching yesterday, I'm not sure that he was good enough to play in a 2 yesterday.
It was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
You know, I thought he looked a lot better when they brought in Baningimi and he was able to kind of move forward a little bit more. But but still, I honestly am not sure about that. I think the only way Tom Davies can play in a 2 is if we get some faster, more capable center backs.
I concur. I can't add more to that. I think the facts speak for themselves, and yesterday he did struggle. So, yeah, maybe we need to reevaluate that.
We'll see what happens. That's all we can do at the minute. I mean, the way it's going.
Yeah, Edward, you're usually more harsh on Davies than I am, so I was expecting you to point your finger at me and say, "Talk about this." So, all right, last point. @Chris_Dines18 says, good second half. Individual errors cost us no pace, no forward pass. Older players not stepping up. to the mark. Younger players don't have enough experience. January will be massive. Need a striker badly. I mean, that's just a summary of the game, essentially.
That's basically a tweet-sized summary of not just the game but the season as a whole. So probably a fair reflection. Well done.
Yeah, Chris, that's beautiful.
You've done our job for us.
Yeah. I don't really know what else we can add to that. You kind of got it. So
you kind of summed it. Maybe end it with a question so we can contribute something to the end. But in terms of kind of putting us in a hole, that was pretty perfect. Yeah, summed up very well, mate.
All right. So those are your fan thoughts, everybody. All right. If you're enjoying the videos, subscribe to us. It's just a kind thing to do. Please make sure check out Edward's YouTube channel, Jam E James. Details are down there. Check out David's writings on the Toffee Blues and numerous other publications. And feel free to comment below. Talk to us about more fan thoughts. Respond to someone else's thoughts. We totally want to start a dialogue. That works very well. All right, we're done. David's got to go to Lyon.
Au revoir,
everybody.